My name is Daryl McElveen. I spent a year in Dallas. The majority of the time was like I was on the streets, I guess. I was homeless there. I've been working in bars and clubs in New York City since like 2000. And like there wasn't anything happening in New York. I wanted to work more in film. So I, looked on Craigslist and the Big Apple Circus was hiring. I would do grip work, setting up for like concerts or whatever, we got hired to do. And the whole time we're in hotels, which is again leads up to why I really wanted to get off the crew when we got to Dallas. I was, been in hotels for like a year and a half or whatever. And so I left the crew and I ended up arrested for public intoxication. And I had gotten into a scuffle with some toughs, some street toughs. When they let me out, I had nothing. No self-esteem, no money, no ID, no anything. I have a half-sister in Dallas, a half-sister in Chicago. And I also have a bunch of friends from church who were in Dallas also. My mother told she told me to call my friends who I knew from the Bronx, and they came, and like that was another completely weird thing. It was weird because at the time I'm like, if I knew my friend was in a shelter or whatever, I would have been like, yo, dude, come stay. But that didn't happen. And that's because it didn't happen. That changed a lot too for me because that's when I really felt like alone. It's crazy. So I asked the lady there. I'm like, yo, I tell her what happened. She gives me a sheet of paper with shelters. I didn't even think of shelters. It didn't even cross my mind to like look for one or whatever. But when she gave me that, it was like, thank God. So I left from Greyhound and walked to the Dallas Life Foundation. And at the Dallas Life Foundation, at that time, you could go there and the city would pay for you to stay there for 5 days. I knew I could get a job, anywhere, waiting tables, whatever. I just needed some place to, like not be like all freaked out. And that's what this place gave me. So I wake up the next day and I'm actually feeling good, and I start playing chess with this dude. We were talking, and he tells me about this place that's being built, and about it's been built, but it's opening, and like I don't know. He's like, yo, man, I don't know, but like the word in the street is like, I was like, what's this place? It's like, I don't know. It's called the Bridge. It's apparently is this like behemoth place. I had had no clue about it. Then when they pointed at it, you could see it from the library. So I look it up, and like it's like, like a $20 million homeless shelter. It says, they want to end homelessness. Apparently, like in Dallas, the Dallas area, there's like 10,000 homeless. This place is gonna have, sleeping, like, meals, 24 hours, because that's a huge thing. And then also, too, there was no indoctrination there. There was not gonna be any, like, you didn't have to go hear a sermon to eat. And then the other thing they said was they weren't going to turn anybody away. Apparently you had to be there at like 12 was like this opening or whatever. So we go to this place at like 11:30. We go there and we're walking there, and it's like this mass exodus. At the Day Resource Center, they went out and passed out. They took your name down to get a bed at the bridge the first day, okay? I think it was like 300, 400 people or something like that. And so we didn't know that, because if I did, we wouldn't have gone that first day. But I'm glad I went, because as we're getting there, again, we see this mass, troop of people walking, and then I see this place. And it looks like a college campus, or a college building. I'm like, wow. And then I turn the corner, and I see event parking, and there's limousines everywhere. And I'm like, holy shit, what's going on? Like, dude, he's like, I told you, this is crazy, man. The mayor's gonna be here. I'm like, what? And cause I'm like half happy and I'm like half embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want, like, then I saw, like, then you see the camera crews. I'm like, what is going on here? Look at this, man. Why are they here celebrating homelessness? It's like they're celebrating homelessness. So anyway, the time comes, 12 o'clock. They open these gates. There's balloons everywhere. I mean, they're balloons like, welcome homeless people. We go in, and it's one of the most surreal things I've ever seen because I'm in a pack of like about 400 or 500 homeless people, and everybody inside inside the little mall area is dressed in black tie, drinking juice. They're all looking at us like, you know, they want us to come in, but they're so afraid. They're so afraid, and their cameras, and I'm like, I don't know, what should I be happy or should I mean, this is like the weirdest thing. There's this incredible spread of food. There's fruit skewers. And bottled water and soda. So they open the gate. Then you hear boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what? Everybody's backs up. There's a fight. And I mean, I'm just completely embarrassed. I don't know why. I mean, I'm just embarrassed. Police are there also for this, though. But so they break it up, and eventually we all go in. They were going up to different people, asking them, you know, what type of services they needed, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was really positive. The main thing the bridge did for me is storage, okay? I had storage there. I could get mail there. I had to go back every day to keep my storage, you know? And so going back every day, you see how much worse this place is getting every day. There's more fights. The police are showing up. And the first place you saw the deterioration was the bathroom. They closed down one bathroom. Then they started catching people like having sex. You know, so at this point, this is the summer. And so like there's this huge like hangar type thing where they had beds. Like that's the other thing. At first, you know, you came in married, you could sleep with your whatever. They cut that out. The welcome building, that was 24-hour access. When there wasn't enough beds or anything like that, they'd still let you in. You could sleep out on like the mall area, outside or inside. People like, you know, who knows, for whatever reason, after like maybe like a month, that stopped. And then that's when the bad press about this place really started happening because there are a lot of, I mean, again, this is a job for a lot of people. We're talking like 4 months now into the bridge, right? This place was 24 hours. You could come anywhere, do anything at any point. Now, if you do not have a caseworker now, go in there, which was another thing. If you don't have a caseworker, you can't go there and eat and get any services or whatever. And when you get those caseworkers, they ask you all these questions, your drug history, why are you here, blah. Eventually, they're like, you needed a bridge ID to get in that place. And this is the ID. Okay? And what they did was they limited the amount of people for everybody had that could stay at the bridge because there were too many people staying there. They were overwhelmed. People were coming from, 3 states out, Nevada, like Oklahoma, to come to this place. And so they were completely overwhelmed. By this time, it was, the press about it was just awful. People were like calling the man who runs it the devil. I had to go back into the shelter system again after being out of it for about like 4 or 5 months. My friend left to go to Tennessee and I couldn't afford the place where we were staying. There were nights where it was pouring down rain and I'm trying to wrap my mind around the fact that there's people in there at a homeless shelter, the biggest one in the country. And why are there 10 homeless people outside of this facility in the rain? Why? What? How does that make sense? It took them less than a year to throw away their whole mission statement. Their mission statement was bring everybody. We're not turning anybody away. 8 months later, they got people out on the street in the rain. The one thing that saved me is that I knew that there are people out there who cared about me and who kept visiting me, who would come and visit me, and who wanted to know what was going on with me, I mean, you have thousands of people out there who don't have that, and that was their life, man. If you were going to be down and out and homeless and have no place to fucking eat and sleep, be in Dallas, Texas. Be in Dallas, Texas.